Hello everybody and welcome to a guide to Minecraft in a sense. I'm Vise and I am going to teach you a little thing about color. Yes, what we have right in front of us is a Minecraftian color wheel and a bat. I want a bow. I want to kill that bat. He's ruining my video. No, we have a color wheel in front of us. The Minecraftian version anyway. A color wheel has much more colors than this, but this is a very basic one. So we're just gonna go from the basics and we're just gonna work our way along here. Alright? We got a bunch to cover. A lot to cover and a little time to do it. As you can see, these are the primary colors. Right here. These three. Very obvious if you've attended elementary school. Here are the secondary colors: orange, green, purple. Again, obvious if you attended elementary school. And here's something that's obvious if you attended an art class. The color wheel in general. First off, the colors here are set in a circle for a very specific reason. You notice that, say, the yellow is on top. Red is right here, blue is right here. These are in very specific locations. This is for a specific reason. First off, it represents the rainbow. This little thing right here, red to purple. Roy G. Biv. We all know and love it. Then it goes around and comes back to red. Easy peasy. This is what happens when you mix colors. And that's about it. In between should be like a red-orange. If I had orange clay, I could show you. Yellow-orange, yellow-green, blue-green, like a cyan right there would be good. And then purple, like violet, indigo right there. Or no, indigo, then violet. There we go. Got them backwards. And they are pointing to each other, if you notice. That means they're contrasting. Alright? We'll talk about that in a second. But first off, you might want to keep that reference there and the overlay. First off, we got values. The most basic of the basic. From black to white. If you were going 5 scale of anything, you could pretty much make any picture in Minecraft in black and white with these 5 colors. Assuming you assign color number values to said lights. Basically, this is all you need for almost anything. That's what you use for charcoal. This is what is known as a monotone scale. Right? These colors go together because they are all grays. They are all comprised of either white or black or both, like these three. You could probably squeeze out more, like the cyan could be used as a gray, like in between these two. But these are like the most basic color jumps. You could do a lot with that. But the monotone scale isn't comprised of just black and white. Here is a blue monotone scale. You see this? It's blue right here, and it keeps going to white. See? The snow has a little bit of a bluish color to it, so it's still part of this scale. And which means these go all together, and they look pretty nice together. So if you ever want to try and go with a blue color scale, you could use all these, maybe throw some water in there. Just going straight blue, but here's a red one. I couldn't find a good dark one, but nether brick does the trick. Then red wool, these work out pretty well since the introduction of the clay blocks. I think that's pink. Yeah, that's pink. See? Interesting, right? Even though that's more of a reddish, and that's white. And so, if you ever want to go with a warm... Oh, I'll talk about warm and cold later, but if you want to go with red, I couldn't think of a yellow, sadly. If you can, do explain in the comments, I guess. But what we have here now, behind me, is now we're going to discuss contrast in colors, alright? Behind me, we have 2 panels, right? To the left is a white block surrounded in gray, and to the right is a white block surrounded in black. Now, if you look carefully, now look at this white. This is just basic white, alright? Now, if you look at here, you will notice that slightly your eye will be drawn more to this one than, say, this one. Now, why is that, you ask? First off, there's a bit of an optical illusion going right here. Doesn't this white block right here feel a little bit grayer than this one? Doesn't this seem really white? That's a bit of optical illusion when it comes to contrast. Basically, if there's a bigger difference in value, something will pop out more. Now, if we go around here, it's the inverse. See, this is grayer, so that black one on the right pops more. It looks darker, more rich. And now, remember when I said contrasting colors? Well, remember the opposites, because this is what it looks like. This is orange is the opposite of blue. So this blue, let's look at this blue. This is a very rich color. It comes out more saturated. When you contrast the opposite colors, the color in the middle comes out more saturated. It looks more vivid. Same with orange. Say this looks, this doesn't necessarily look brighter, but since it's blue, which is slightly darker, it does come out a little brighter, but the color itself seems juicier. Yes. And here's purple and gold and yellow. And what's interesting about this, if I take a bit of obsidian right here, is it draws out the purples in, say, an obsidian block. You see that? You kind of see the purples better if you do that like that. It's not as good, not a good example. If I could find a better block with the purples in it or blues, you would see it better, but it makes those little bits of detail in it, like say if this was netherrack and obsidian, if that was the purple, you would see that more. And this also can be used in combination. Say, this is why blue and white work so well. Blue is a very dark color, right? And white is a very, obviously, light color. And this is what makes the contrast so good and works so well together. Now, if I can get some red, there's some red. We'll talk about that in a second. Now, we have red, blue, warm, and cool contrast. This is different in a sense that blue is a very cool color, obviously. It reminds you of water, and this reminds you of fire. Now, if you were to put, think, let me think of a good analogy. Just imagine a fire over a lake, and the fire would be blazing hot because of the cool colors of the lake kind of reflecting the heat. Makes that red seem more saturated. Makes it more powerful, not necessarily saturated. You can use this to a proper usage. Say, see, you know how stone bricks are cool kind of colors? If you want to combine that with red, you might want to give it a more let's say a more nefarious pop, more powerful. If you want to cool it down and make it a little softer, a little darker, a little somber, you throw some bluish colors in there. And this could be used in, say, a warm, cool color. Like, make this seem a little more homely, you know? Or give that a little more, how should I put it? More relaxed. More warm welcoming. This is where you want to cool off with a cup of coffee. These can be used to make, if you use colors effectively, say, using the warm colors. See, this is very bright. This is just a few colors put together. This is very bright and happy. You know, you could lick it. It looks like something out of a picture book. And this feels very dark, very moody. So, if you use bright, saturated colors, you can make it more, and warmer colors, you can make it happy. More desaturated, like the clay blocks and whatnot, the mycelium for an extra touch, will make it feel sad. Let's go over here for a second. I kind of put this up together as we go. Now, if you were to combine opposite colors, red and green being opposites, you would get mutes. Sadly, mutes aren't very easy to find in this game, but oh, hang on. But luckily, there's this one, which is honestly one of the best ones to know of. If you combine red and green in paints or something, you would get a very rich brown. Like, there would be a whole scale of browns that you could use. If I could pull dirt and stuff out, like, you would get these, this, and this. You see, you'd get all these earth tones out of these two colors. Though, once you use mutes, those work together very nicely if you get a little creative. So, if you want to look up, since mutes are actually pretty hard to find in Minecraft, do tell me of them, because that'd be awesome. But if you want to find out more about mutes, just look up mute values charts or something, and color theory, you'll find it. But if you were to combine three colors, the primaries normally, obviously you get gray. But here is something else. Brain, come on. Alright, here is something you don't want to do. This looks alright-ish, but you can't have just like cool, gray, monotone, and then gray, and these are your highlights, just gray that barely pops out from this. You might want to have a white, like maybe even this white clay. Doesn't that pop out more in a sense? I wouldn't use it personally, but it looks better. Maybe purple. Oh, I want that back. Give me that. No, come on. I'm falling apart here. Alright, like this. Now, doesn't that look better? This very desaturated, like, just straight no color to, like, even though this is a very desaturated purple, it looks much more purple than, say, if we were to put it against this. See? Now, you could use this basic idea in a multitude of things. For instance, this walkway. I personally wouldn't use it, but it works very nicely. It actually, if you were paying attention, well, not paying attention, if you were just looking at it, it would drive you straight down this walkway. Why? Because there's a cool, almost dark color right there, followed by, which goes into a brownish color, so it's adding that color, that red. It's getting warm from the cool, and then this very vivid, saturated, light birchwood, which has a little bit of yellow, so it transitioned from blue to red, now to a yellow. It's very eye-popping. Personally, I wouldn't use it because I don't really work with warm colors, which I had trouble with. I had a lot of trouble with that. But if you were to but it looks nice, and you can experiment as you wish, and it could look good. But right here is something a little more complex and harder to use. This looks alright, but this is what is known as an analogous. Oh, by the way, any colors that are directly next to each other, say red, orange, and yellow, those are analogous colors. Those are colors that are next to each other, obviously. But this is an analogous complementary color scheme. Basically, this is blue, purple, green-ish blue, and then orange right in the middle. This makes the orange pop out right more, but it's used as a highlight, you know? But you want to keep this all kind of really close together. And over here, finally, is a little bit of a test of what I did. And this is a mandala. Basically, this is everything made with the analogous complementary color scheme, using reds as the orange as the middle piece, so red, orange, yellow, and blue for the highlight color. So this looks much better in, let's pull that out right now. Thank you, fvdisco. This is what it looks like in fvdisco's texture pack. I would have used it for the rest of this pack, but it's a little too saturated for what I was trying to show, and the lines are very defined, so it kind of breaks the flow. But this is what it looks like in fvdisco, using primarily colors to draw out that look. And doesn't that blue in the middle just scream at you? It is very tantalizing. But that is the basics of color. Just experiment, see what you like. Maybe mix warms like reds, yellows, oranges, and then throw a little bit of a cyan in there to get a little adventurous. Like maybe, I don't have jungle wood on me. Let's, like that. Maybe you want to build a brick house, and you have this birch wood floor. I'm destroying this map. It took me so long to create, to plan, and then say, where's cyan? There's the cyan. Alright, give me that. And give me a nice, somewhat cool, but not too overbearing cyan floor. And that will look like a little nice home, you know? Just think outside the box. If you want to maybe make a more earthy, like tree area, play with the reds to the greens, you know? And that's about it. So, thank you all for watching. If you enjoy this, I might try and make another video about the psychology of design, how to make you feel good versus sad in shapes rather than colors. And maybe then you could combine those two and make something awesome. But take these ideas to heart when you're building. Normally, as usual, people use the 3-block minimum and don't go completely tacky and go straight. I want contrasting colors, therefore orange then blue. No, you want to go with, let's go back over here. If we go to the mandala, you want to go like desaturated for the normal ones, and then what you want for your highlight is the very saturated one, you know? Or you could go for the inverse, go very saturated and go for a highlight of a very dark, desaturated color. It will really make a difference. So, thank you all for watching, and I hope this helps you in your future builds. Ta-ta!